Good morrow to you guys. We're back here for another great episode for House of the Dragon, episode 5, season 2. It's called Regent. And I actually have Nick here. I have Tamika here. Don will be here in a few minutes. And so let's go ahead. Let's talk about this episode. I'm excited to have everyone back here again. So without further ado, let's do this. And hey guys, how's it going?
Tell a friend. I don't know why that came in my.
Rub my back, rub my back. Okay.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Nah. Cut. That's all we can do. You can't say no more.
Well, that review is going to be tomorrow with Dawn.
Okay. Yeah.
Reviewing the Death of Slim Shady. So
see,
that actually helps.
Pre promo.
Yes, and yes, indeed. So my thing is this: I really have to say I really enjoyed the opening scene for this, the way it opens up, and now we actually get to see Aegon, and the amplifications of what happened to him. Hey Jojo, how are you? It's good to have you here. We appreciate that. Thank you for always showing us some love. But yeah, I really have to say I like the fact that they actually showed us the dangerous elements of what it's like to actually be burnt alive with a dragon, and then also too the armor being stuck to him. I'm like, oh god, is he even gonna even make this thing out of alive? Make it out alive because of that. But if it wasn't for Christian actually saving his life, he would have actually been dead anyways. But still, just seeing that little moment of him being carried, and I'm like, is he dead? Is he alive? What's the deal? But yeah, what did you guys think?
I love that scene. I mean, one, they weren't going to just kill him off that easy, right? He's obviously going to have his opportunity, but I thought it showed a couple of important things. One, we know that anyone with Targaryen blood is fire resistant naturally. And here we truly see that tested to its fullest. Like, he was burned by the biggest dragon in the world right now. And his skin held up okay, actually. The thing that caused the burns was the Valyrian steel that was in his armor. Because that's what actually melted through his skin, if you remember when they're pulling it off. So what that tells you is Valyrian steel can get extraordinarily hot. And I feel like that's going to end up playing a role at some point. Don't know how, but just something that they kind of floated to us, like, all right, he clearly survives the cannon fodder of being blasted by the fireball, but it's actually this armor that hurt him.
Right. And you know what though? Now that you mentioned the whole entire deal where they're actually immune to fire, I actually forgot about that, and it just made me care more about the character because of the fact that I forgot about it.
What?
But
about this guy?
Yeah, because remember in the season 1 where you actually have, huh?
Go ahead.
What were you talking about? What are you doing?
No.
But no, like I forgot all about the fact that they're immune to fire. So whenever I seen that, I'm like, oh, is he even gonna make it? Then Nick actually brought up the fact that he is immune to fire. So I'm like, okay, so this is just the implications of the armor being melted into his skin. But also too, we also got to see the fact, like in season 1 of Game of Thrones, where basically you have Drago who winds up taking the melting the gold on top of the guy's head and seeing it melt on top of him. So definitely get to. So I see some similarities in a sense when it comes down to certain things like that.
It's a bit problematic for me. I guess it's the way they wrote Game of Thrones, because with Dany, like she was in literal fire, and there was no burns or anything on her skin. It was just nothing but ash. And with Aemon, no, Aegon, yeah, with Aegon, it's like I see burns on his face and everything else. And I know, I guess, like you said, that could be the Valyrian steel armor. But I don't know. I guess for me, with Dany, since she's a part of that lineage, there was nothing on her anyway. It was like this. And that could be how the showrunners did it.
it could also just be like differences in temperature. Like a building fire might burn at one temperature, whereas like the dragon fire is like exponentially higher for some reason. You know, can melt most things except for Valerian steel. So maybe something like that. And then with Aegon, you know, on top of being hit with the blast by Aegar, he also falls, and then Sunfire does explode into fire. So like, there's multiple opportunities for burnings.
Yeah,
where he's just kind of cooking inside the fire as opposed to hey.
Oh my god! Yeah. Like my air fryer.
But you know who else I feel bad for though is the fact that you actually have the one guy who ended up losing his wife, Remise, during that battle. And he just feels bad, and he's also pissed off though too. And I like how his daughter's like, well, that's how I would like to actually go out in style, as being a blaze of glory. In a sense, I don't want to just die naturally. I just want to be how my grandmother died and how my mother died.
Yeah.
And I think that right there pretty much told him, you know what, just because she's gone, her memory still lives in the veins of their granddaughter and their daughters and stuff like that. And that's how they want to go. And he never probably thought of that before, of them wanting to do something like that. So I think, there's a little bit of healing in that moment.
Definitely. And it plays into the theme of the show too, which is when male characters' emotions are going haywire, the female characters come back and kind of ground them, right? You see it a lot with Rhaenyra, you see it a lot with Alicent, though Alicent's now being bypassed, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yes.
But in this scene too, she is still, all intents and purposes, teenager, maybe early 20s, but she's telling her grandfather, who's now a widower, this is how she wanted to go. This is how, if you were in her shoes, you'd want to go. Like, it's how I want to go as well. And kind of pulls him back. And now I think he's ready to be that player that, for the last 8 episodes or so, he's kind of been loosely on the fringe.
Right, with Corlys, and I felt bad for Corlys though too at first.
Yeah,
because and then he goes over to the whole entire throne, and he's looking at the memories that his wife sat there and how they actually were the dominant ones at one time. And now he's alone and doesn't know what to do. And then you have, like I said, it's that moment of light into darkness that I really like how they pulled from that element.
To quote my buddy Blake, it was the best relationship in the show by far.
I agree 110%. That was the best relationship. I mean, if you look at the Game of Thrones, even with this, you never had a sweet couple like this. This is a couple that actually supports each other and is there for each other. You want them to actually win, but within the Game of Thrones rules that you cannot win in Game of Thrones on some of the stuff that they have laid out.
Yeah. I mean, I like the part too where his granddaughter was saying, like, all the treasures that he has in his throne room. She was like, they don't know that was all for her.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really sweet too. The problem that I have with Corlys is that, at first, his wife was like, you should give it to our granddaughters. They should inherit Driftmark. And he was like, nah, they're girls, basically. And now that his granddaughter stepped up and like talking to him like, a leader, he's like, oh my God, you should inherit Driftmark. And she's like, I don't want that crappy place. I'm fire and blood.
Yeah.
Right, I don't want that.
I love that line. She just turns and walks away.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. I'm fire and blood. I don't want that. Next.
That means Driftmark is still heirless because obviously Luke was the heir before he got eaten out of the sky.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he can't go to his older brother because he's the heir. Yeah. Don't I have another brother? Well, the other two brothers, can they be there?
2 other brothers
that
are infant or toddler age right now in the show that were sent off with what's her name? The other daughter from Daemon and
Baylor?
What'd you say her name?
Is it Bela?
Bela. Yeah.
Yeah, Bela.
Bela. Okay.
I think Bela. Whichever the younger one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. She also has the two youngest Targaryen babies with her. And those are very, very important children.
Yes.
To the lore. Now, speaking of that too, without giving away any spoilers on what's supposed to happen in the books, but Sunfire, the dragon that Aegon flies, they alluded to it had a long death, right? However, in the books, it's supposed to do something very, very significant later on. So I'm curious, is the show going to pivot dragons or pivot characters that it has this action happening with, or are they going to do some kind of the dark magic that we've seen in Game of Thrones? And the Targaryens did as a way to get to the dragons, but we haven't seen any of it in House of the Dragon. And then on top of that too, the Red Woman or Red Witch is technically alive during this era as well. So my brain started churning earlier today. Is there an opportunity where maybe she comes into play and raises that dragon from the dead for a purpose?
Ooh.
Yeah. Because they told us it died. But we only saw the head for Melise.
Yeah.
Which was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
What
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Is the Red Woman the same as is it Melisandre? Yeah.
Melisandre or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is that like the Red Woman, you think?
Yeah, that's the same person.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so she's supposed to be like, I think it was 400 years old in Game of Thrones. And this is happening 150 years before. So she would, be alive, of age, probably practicing magic. So totally an opportunity for them to bring her back.
Wow.
Knock on wood, that happens. That'd be cool. But
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
But I also wanted to. There was something else that I had wanted to mention though too. Was like, we mentioned Allison, we mentioned the whole entire deal too. But when we talked about the metal beam implanted into Aegon's body, but we also forgot to mention about Aemon, about how he's just over there smirking. He has his little blade that he has, and and then you sense Allison just looking at him like, I know that there's something more to this story.
Yeah.
And she's even looking down at the blade, in which Lucerys is the one who gave Aegon the blade in the first place, or Allison gave the blade to him in the first place.
Yeah.
Whenever he was first king. And now he has it, and now she realizes, oh, now there's more to it, to this story now. He just set him up just to die so he can take over. Because as Jason and Dawn and Tamika talked about last Wednesday, and I think that you guys did a really good job of holding it down while I was gone. But the thing that I really felt like that, he's been doing all these lessons, and Aegon's not even taking it seriously or anything like that either. He's over there in a brothel with his friends, acting like it's bachelor paradise, and and he's not doing anything. He's just hung a couple of rat catchers up because he got pissed off because his kid died. I get that. But his brother is actually the one who's actually trying to take it seriously, but he's also going to be a little asshole, though, too. What were you going to say, Nick? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, to be fair, Aemon also goes to the brothel a lot.
True, but he goes in for cuddling.
Yeah.
He just, that's his,
what happens
that's
a
psychiatry.
He sticks with the one woman he likes.
He's faithful to the girl. He's faithful to the same woman. That's all I could say.
He just got mommy kink issues. And yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
He just want to be held. Yeah.
Well, pretty soon that Mummy King is going to be into the castle, because then he doesn't have to go to the brothel anymore.
Oh, can you imagine? Oh,
I can see the mother going, "How dare you bring her here?"
She gonna have a nice room. Oh, right next to his.
But she turns it down because she says, "My life is down there."
Not up here.
Not up
Yeah, and then he put a sword to her throat and said, "I said, come on."
right?
I have my brother's
Try.
knife here.
Yeah,
Um,
my dragon will burn you.
so to get back on task a little bit here,
Oh, okay.
I thought something that was really powerful about that scene where Allison is questioning both Eamon and Chris Cole, what happened? Like, how did this happen, right? And no one can give her a straight answer. Eamon says, I don't know, he wasn't supposed to be there. Chris Cole tells her the horrors of battle, essentially, and how terrible it is, and seeing it firsthand.
He made it about himself.
And
versus
seeing someone shard in front of him, and totally made it about himself, right? But what it is Eamon and Chris Cole have been going behind the king's back and plotting this war.
Mhm.
And Eamon took his shot, and Chris saw him do that for sure. Like, he was still conscious before that happened. So, I'm thinking that he's covering for Eamon, and it's going to come at a price.
I think so too. I think he's covering for Eamon, but at the same time, though, if he was covering for Eamon, would he wind up making him stop killing his brother?
Well, I don't know how he would do that from the ground on a horse.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, you see that one shot where Christian is actually just stopped and looked at him and told him to stop what he was doing, and that was it. So I was thinking to myself, well, I know that they've been plotting this whole entire thing from whatever episode it was. But I was thinking, well, if he wanted him to finish the job, he would have just let him sit there, and then he would just say, "Hey, look, he died in battle."
Yeah.
But instead, he stops
when he approaches him, right? He just had his sword out, so he quickly just puts it right back as soon as Chris Cole comes behind him. So, like, I think he might be able to play that off as like a, no, I just had my sword out because we're in a battlefield, not.
Even though my brother is laying in fire.
So, like, he probably, like, I'm sure Chris Cole's like putting two and two together, but like, because he is clever, even though he's an asshole, he is clever.
Well,
So I don't know.
I was just thinking too, like, I mean, and then like you said, Christian just makes it about himself, about the battle, and he doesn't even. And Allison is like, okay, I know there's something more, but nobody else is talking, so therefore I have to drop it. Like, you can see that coldness with her, especially whenever you get into the other Kingsmen and stuff like that too. The council. It's like, well, we got to elect somebody. Well, we might as well go on ahead and elect the next person up. And Allison's like, are you sure you want to do that? Because at first she was like, all for her kids. And now it's like, my kid's a little psycho bastard. You know?
Yeah, because she petitioned for herself to be regent. Yeah, in place. And I was surprised that Loras was like, nah, I think Eamon is the best choice. And I was like, what?
Well, Laris's reasoning too is,
well, yeah, I get their reasoning. I was more surprised with Cole because I was like,
yeah,
you gonna give up all that? Well, okay. Cole said, I gotta keep my job.
I think he knows he's gonna get that no matter what.
I don't know about it.
I think he's going to lose the hand. I think he's actually going to lose the hand, and it's going to go to Laris.
Maybe.
Yeah, it should.
But Laris breaking it down with, what would the realm think if we bypassed one queen and appointed another? Like,
yeah, I get the
it's
logic.
Contradictory.
Yeah, I get the logic for that time. Like, they wouldn't really take a woman seriously.
Or everyone in the realm would just say, okay, well, the Targaryen is the queen then.
Right, exactly. And everything that they were trying to do from season 1 would just be like, well, that's it. We might as well just go ahead and put Rhaenyra on the throne, and that would be the end of it.
I did love the shot, though, of Eamon just getting up from his seat, walking around the table, grabbing the ball, walking up. Casual as can be. He's done this 10,000 times in his head in the last week. And now it's happened. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's like
straight to business, not even a mention of hope my brother gets well soon or anything like that.
No, it's like, your brother said, that's nice. Okay, so anyways, first order of business.
Yes.
So but you can definitely tell this is actually what he wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. He knew the council wasn't going to go after a woman. because of the fact that even when Rhaenyra was going to go on ahead and be acting king or queen because she was her rightful heir, because Viserys wanted her as the queen, as the one who's up in the forefront. So putting her up in the forefront would be contradictory to what, like Lair said and everything too. Lair said it would be very contradictory. So therefore, if we're going to do that, we might as well just go on ahead and let both queens run the whole entire thing. But we can't do that. So we have to elect somebody. So the next one up is, of course, asshole. So,
Buddy, dragon.
Because her other son is in Old Town, right?
Yeah.
I wonder why he couldn't be next in line, or however the order goes.
Isn't he the youngest?
Yeah, he's the youngest. So therefore, the way it would go is the oldest would be Aegon. Yeah. Second would be asshole. Then third one would be him.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yep. So yeah, but then you have Daemon that's doing a side quest.
The best memes in so many years have come
side quest.
Daemon playing Mario's Castle.
Oh my gosh. Amos just
I didn't think about that. That's actually a good call. I didn't think about Mario's Castle being in that kind of way.
He just trying to find himself and be in harmony with the world through drugs.
And through his mother. I mean, sorry.
Now
he's sitting on the dragon. He's like, either join me or burn.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah. They're like, we're gonna burn.
And then he's just sitting there. Sword in hand.
He just lets him walk off. And I liked how the men are like, yeah, going ahead. Oh, I thought you said something else, though, Nick. I'm sorry. I thought I was interrupting.
Plundering it.
Right. But he's plundering. You know what, though? You know that wide angle shot when you see the men walking away and you see the dragon's mouth?
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to light his ass on fire.
I was so ready for it.
Me too. Because it'd be such a mafia type of thing to do is like, okay, that's not a problem. You don't want to bow down to me? Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, go. And drink and be merry.
Yeah.
I tell you something, those men are so brave because I'm like, I'm coming. I'm coming. Sorry. I'm not
just
with
one
them.
knee, or do you want two knees?
What's the flag now? Okay, I get the flag. Okay, let me change.
What does the flag look like? Yeah, just tell me what the flag look like.
What's our motto? Okay, yeah. Okay, Team Green. Yeah, sorry guys, I want to live.
Got it.
I don't see color. Which team? This side.
Yeah. What team? What team we on now? Yeah, burn them. Yes, burn.
Going with the dragon. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But and then seeing them walk off, and then the guy's like, "Seriously, you're just gonna let him go?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah," because these are the kind of guys that I need. The ones that are not gonna take no shit from somebody and switch sides. This is exactly who I need.
Wait, they burned.
And raise an army of ash.
Yeah. They got burned.
Yeah.
But he was saying that those are the type of men that he would need. So it was unfortunate that he had to kill them.
Right.
But if he didn't have the guy next to him, I think maybe they would have went along.
True.
I guess he had their rival,
Yeah.
But I also liked how they said, well, what's another thing that a man can't live without? So I was thinking that he was going to chop off the guy's balls or something.
Oh my God. You went way left.
On Greyjoy action.
Right. I thought for sure we were going to have that kind of thing going on.
Lorena Bobby. What?
This has been a pretty tame season in terms of grotesque ways to be tortured or maimed or killed.
I appreciate that because they've learned their lesson from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
Game of
Thrones I'm actually arguing the opposite. I think John's spot on, and we need to get some balls being ripped off.
Wait a minute now.
Let's get some 18th century Manscaped tools that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fine just the way it is. We've been through enough torture.
They haven't though. This is 200 years beforehand, where everything's a little bit more civil.
Yeah, they're a bit more tame.
Daemon is a tortured mind right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on. He's
also being tortured by a witch, I think.
Acid and stuff. So he ain't in his right mind to properly torture people.
Yeah. He's just flashing from one time lapse to another.
Those time lapses are so cool.
But yeah, the whole Riverland is also applauded by the resulting slaughter in the very lords he wanted to win over refused to negotiate with him.
Yeah.
Dragon or no, we shall not raise the banners. He also tells Alice's Rivers outright that he's working for himself now and wants to be addressed as my king. She cannot succeed. Alice, he says, referring to Rhaenyra, even if I willed it to be so, the people who support her will not be led by her. They took to a man for strength. Meanwhile, he's having dreams not only of his late first wife, Lena, but also a literal motherfucking. That's actually what I have in my notes. So his state of mind seems entirely healthy.
John, I can't.
That scene was hot.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Freud has entered the chat.
Well, get this. My wife looks at me and she goes, "Who is she?" I said, "That's his mother."
So
surprised. I was like, okay, it's another Targaryen girl. Where she came from.
I want to know how much Matt Smith got paid to do that scene.
That was very graphic for it to be in the kind of context, though. I wasn't expecting it to go.
He didn't have to get paid extra. He liked it.
Well, you got paid extra.
Here's a little fun fact that I found out that I didn't know about. You remember that one scene where Alicent and Christian was getting it on? And the maid goes into...
time, John? Which time?
I'm talking about when she's in the bed riding him.
Oh, yeah, and then...
that was actually porn stars doing it. They actually... Yeah, those were actually real...
information from? Where's your source? Where's your source?
And where can we look them up so we can never...
What is your source? What is your source?
Hey, Don. We were just talking about that one bedroom scene where Alicent and Christian was getting it on, and it was actually not really the actors. It was actually two porn stars.
Yeah, and then I asked where did he get the information from. He said, "Don't worry about it."
Am I frozen on your guys' screen?
Just a little bit.
Okay, I'm totally frozen on mine.
But you...
Okay. Is Don frozen?
No.
Hey, I'm going to leave and come back in.
Oh, okay.
Am I here? Sorry, am I here? I don't know. Is everything?
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, John just talking about porn stars.
That I did not know, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I need to figure out where the source is, John.
I don't think it's Howard Stern. I can't remember. But anyways.
I'm not trusting Howard Stern on it.
I don't think so. It's not Howard. But anyways, so we are actually talking about Daemon having those weird dreams and doing side quests.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
I mean, look, he's losing it, man. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, he's fucking losing it. He's
That's like the best
it.
response ever.
Here's my thing, though. I don't like that direction with the character. And again, it's probably in the books, and I'm not like, they should change it or anything like that. I just don't like the direction with the character. I don't think he needs to go crazy. I can see where he would be questioning himself, but going like crazy like this. But again, I'm still holding out that witch is doing it to him, and it's not actually him going crazy. So
that's what I'm thinking, though, too.
Yeah.
And plus, it's Lairs. That's actually his house.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is he's trying to stall it out to where Daemon is there all the time up until Rhaenyra has to do something. Because now it's up to Rhaenyra to go over to King's Landing or wherever she's going to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's where she's going to wind up dying.
Well, look, there's a lot of pieces are moving right now in this episode, even though this wasn't like a super action-packed episode like we got last episode. There's a lot of pieces moving in this episode, which I love. Alicent, holy crap, as much as I hate her, she is not a dummy. She knows exactly what the fuck happened, and she knows what he did. There's no doubt in my mind she knows what Aemon did.
Exactly. She knows what her own kids are capable of.
Yeah.
The way she looks at him after he's like named the king or whatever, that look told me everything I needed to know. Like, oh no, I know what you're doing. Like, I know what happened now. Because one, Cole wouldn't tell her what happened. She went right to him and was like, dude, what the hell happened? And he's like, war. What do you want me to do? And she's like, nah, that doesn't sound right. And then
exactly, that's something that Nick and I were talking about in Tamika. We were talking about that, how basically Christian just made it about himself and not talk about what actually happened with Aemon, which is the main reason why Allison even asked him in the first place. She don't care about war. She knows exactly what happens in war.
Now, you can take that two ways, though, because technically when this happened, when he killed him or when he fireballed him, whatever you want to call it, he was knocked out at that point.
Right.
Cole didn't see any of that. So he technically doesn't know what happened. All he knows is he saw Aemon putting a sword back in his sheath and the king was basically dead and laying next to the dragon. But that's enough, I think, for him to be like, oh, you killed him. Like, you definitely did this.
You don't think he saw it? Like, was he looking?
No, because remember at the very beginning of the fight, they get knocked out of the fight. Cole and that whole regiment get knocked out. Like the fire.
I thought he also screams
comes in, she just bombs the crap out of him, and something explodes near him, and he's knocked out. He doesn't wake up until after Rhaenyra falls.
Okay.
Right.
So he never saw the actual fight between the dragons other than the very first part of it, like between the king and Rhaenyra.
That's it. Yeah.
So
but also, too, he did come up to... Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, if I'm remembering how the scene got played out. But if I remember right, Christian goes... he winds up calling out his name and goes, what are you doing? And then that's whenever he puts away his key. So it made me think that he knew he was about to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, either he was... Well, now we know he's alive. So, yeah, we know he didn't technically stab him and kill him, but it looked like he was probably about to if he didn't walk up. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But he was going to finish the job for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised he didn't just go ahead and finish it.
Right in front of him. Like,
like, whatever.
He's dying, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what you going to do about it?
Made something up at that moment. Like,
what you going to do about it? I'm a new
But
king.
literally, he just sheathes his sword and walks away. Doesn't say another word. He doesn't say another word other than Kristen asks him, where's he at? And he's like, right there. And then he just walks away with no emotion. So, again, I think he knows, but he can't say it because he can't.
Right.
Because, we've seen this before in the show. You can't just accuse somebody of doing something, especially a king, a queen, whatever. So
it'd be treason. Right.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, look how big of a deal it was when Otto was talking about Rhaenyra and Daemon being together.
Right.
So, I'm just, from that point of view, I don't know what he can and can't say because he can't be like, oh, yeah, no, Aemon probably killed him. Like, you can't say that yet.
There's also a slight difference, though, in a sense, because of the fact it was just gossip within the kingdom itself.
Yeah.
But Christian actually seen it with his own eyes. So that's two.
Again, he only sees him sheathe his sword and walk away. Technically, he lived. So he like I said, I just feel like he's in a bad position either way. Like, there's nothing he can say really at this point because, like,
I still think
Allison's
that he's
going to
kill
him or
him,
Aemon's going to kill him. Like, so yeah. But getting back to this episode and that part of it specifically is, for me at least, that council meeting said a lot. That said a lot. Everybody knows Aemon is the more capable one. Everybody respects Aemon. Like, they never talked to they would have like talked down to Aegon in that room. And they did all the time, like, or at least a couple times we've seen them in there. They're just like, man, you're a kid, shut up.
Yeah.
And Aemon immediately is like, oh no, what's going on here? Like, he knows where people are, where his troops are. He knows everything already. So I think that is going to go a long way with the council, which is going to cause problems with Allison.
Right.
He might have to kill his own mother now. Like, I really think he might kill his own mother at this point.
Yeah. You're right.
I can see that because think of it like this, okay? Allison knows what he's up to now. And in order for him to get what he fully wants without his mother being by his side is to kill her. And that way no one can tell him what to do. He only has the council, and then he can rule the kingdom whatever he wants to do and do what he wants to do.
Yeah, look, Allison's not going to back down from him. We know Allison's a strong person. Like, she's not going to back down. So those two, I mean, that's basically Rhaenyra and Daemon all over again. I mean, neither one of them are going to back down. So what do you do when, and what is it? An immovable object runs into a, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, like this is not going to go well either way.
No, it's
somebody's got to die.
Yeah.
Somebody has to die.
I just want to let everybody know too. Nick's computer crapped out on him, so he sent me his remaining notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's got 3 things on here. He's got Daemon is being groomed by something sinister by the witch. Jacaerys is coming into his own. Still curious about how the Starks are going to be to play a role in all of this. So those are the 3 things that Nick had brought up.
Interesting.
Look, he made a bold move, man. He made a bold move. He said, "No, I'm going." Like flat out, I'm going. Tell my mom if you want when I'm gone, but I'm going. Like, give me the time to get out of here. And he went and handled his business. I don't know what the repercussions of that deal are going to be because I don't think he even does. But he made a deal. He has some more allies. I mean, he accomplished his mission. So it just reminds me how much of his mother he is, like how much like his mother he is. Because this felt like her going to Dragonstone in the first season and walking right up to Daemon, like, if you want to kill me, I'm right here.
Yep. That's what it reminds me of, though, too.
How she was, or kind of how he was in this episode, yeah.
Wow.
Which, again, I love the juxtaposition of it because Rhaenyra knows how she was and that she was not the type to listen to anybody. And then he goes and does it, and it's almost like she gets mad for a second, but even she's like, "No, I'm proud of you." Like, Viserys could never say that to her, even though he portrayed it to her, where she's just like, "No, I'm proud of you." So I thought that was a big moment too, because she's like, "You fucked up, but I'm proud of you for it," kind of. So
yeah, I thought for sure he was gonna die. I was like, "Oh boy, it's Luke."
I thought for sure she's gonna do something. Yeah, it'll be like, "All right, dude, your dragon's like grounded or something, like something like." Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, here we go, another death. I was preparing myself mentally, but that was so cool though. They had like the door was the table.
Yeah,
and they were just in the bridge negotiating. I was like, that's such a cool setting.
Yeah,
I really love that piece, to be honest.
Yeah,
I like that
makes
sentiment.
me want to tear a door and make it into a table.
Yeah,
there you go.
That was a cool setup.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, back in King's Landing, there's also no edible food thanks to Corlys' blockade, and the new regent has closed the gates to stop word from getting out. This also stops our old friend Hugh the Smith fleeing the city with his seriously ill daughter and concerned wife as a recipe for civil unrest. Even the triumph procession back in the city at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. Just a quick thing. That opening with him is so amazing, man. He's so good in that opening. Just showing his loss and how much he really loved Rhaenyra and how much he's missing her, man. Corlys, I really love that opening with him.
Me
I thought
too.
it was really well done.
That single tear.
Yeah, it was just really powerful. Just him walking up and then sitting down. It was really powerful. You can, because everybody knows, look, in this time period, men have to be men.
Yeah.
But I love seeing this because there was definitely a lot more of this also at that time. Do you know what I mean? Where men truly did love their women. They just, the way things were, they treated them differently.
They didn't show vulnerability up until maybe the wife died.
Yeah, or he's actually a good person, which I love. Right. Like, he's not like that. He treats her with respect and an equal.
Yeah,
he really does, I think. So
goes out to the sea and get some couple of children, but
he did. He absolutely
what
did.
sailors do.
But I've never seen him like this.
That should be on the bumper sticker on a boat. It's what sailors do.
It's what sailors do. Whether you want
yeah, hey.
It's occupational hazard, But I think for me the sad part was that they had that fight, that argument. And those are the last words they said to each other. So he has to be feeling that too.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I like when they show these people, like, because we know we can get wrapped up in, who they are when they have to be. But I like seeing these moments with these characters because we don't get a lot of these moments with these characters.
No, I
No, we
never
don't.
see Damon cry.
Never. Oh, you'll never
No.
see Damon cry. I don't think ever.
That's never gonna happen.
He's
No.
too busy sleeping with his mom and his
He didn't even
dream.
cry when his brother died. He's fine. He ain't crying.
No.
So
He didn't even cry for that. You're right.
yeah. Yeah, this blockade is going to cause some problems, and I think it's going to also look. It's not her fault, and it's not anything she could have done about it. But her sending Rhaenyra instead of going herself or sending somebody else might cause a problem with her and Corlys, because the other part of it is her offering him the hand after she died. I think is a smack in the face to him, or at least feels that way.
Right. You didn't offer me this whenever she was alive, but whenever
Right.
my wife died,
Or you didn't
this is
offer
when
it
you
to
offered
her
it.
like you should have. Like I don't even think I think he would have been happy if she got it.
I don't feel like she let Rhaenyra go in a sense. I think Rhaenyra kind of volunteered herself and was like, okay, I'm going. And she was like,
Yeah, but your biggest dragon you let go to the very first battle.
I don't know.
That's my only thing with it, right?
I think she was just blindsided by the fact that she just wanted to go. So she didn't know how to respond.
She wasn't.
Oh look, no, I'm not taking anything away from what she did. I mean, she is a strong. She ain't stopping for anybody, and I'm not blame her for going.
But
I just thought that Rhaenyra could have been like, look, I understand and I appreciate it, but we need you for later. Like we might need you later because look, Aemon's dragon is out there, and even Daemon earlier in the season says to her, like, together we might be able to take him. Like, so. I just think an asset like that, until Aemon's dragon is dealt with, you can't just put it out there by itself like that. I just think that's bad strategy in general.
She kind of came riding on a high. Like she just came and she was trying to keep up with everything that she missed. So it's like her mind wasn't really there to process. Oh God, she couldn't even make like couple decisions. It was like, oh, what's happening? Catch me up on what's going on. I was playing sister act over here in King's
But
Land.
I wouldn't even say it was a bad idea. It just happened. I wouldn't even say it's a bad idea. It just happened wrong. Yeah, it just all happened wrong. Yeah.
But like you said, as a leader, you gotta just be on it and no, you're sitting here. Like Aemon. He took the ball. He put the ball, he clocked the word. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. She got to be like Aemon in a sense. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. X, Y, Z.
But I do agree that you need to have at least 2 dragons to kill Aemon's dragon.
Definitely. Vhagar.
It's not that they knew he was going to be there, but I don't think you take that chance this early in the war. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's all. So again, like I said, I understand completely why they did it, and I'm not like saying, oh, they shouldn't have did that. I would have thought a little bit through it more at that moment. But again, she was making a decision,
and that's not.
She just kind of went for it. So
right, and that's not what I'm saying though. Too, I'm just saying like in that moment, you don't know. Rhaenyra didn't know how to act because it blindsided her to the fact of I know if it was me, and all of a sudden that happened, it's like, okay, what the fuck do I do now and say to try and pull her out of that idea? Because now my mind's already made up.
Rhaenyra's in 100%. I'm doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, Rhaenyra was making a queen decision,
right?
Basically, and she wasn't even a queen, so she kind of took power away from her. It's like, okay, I'm finna go by.
Not to mention, too, I mean, you can't really take away from the fact that Rhaenyra's kind of knew what she was doing. She strapped in and was like, "Oh, I'm going back." So she had a chance to get away.
Yeah, she wanted to go in fire and blood.
It was after that blood. She wanted that dragon to die.
Yeah, she absolutely. Yeah.
I don't blame her. I really don't.
No, you can't. In that moment, you can't. No.
I mean, yeah, which is why people say she should have been queen. Like she's like,
the dominance.
Yeah, she's like Aemon. She's like, in the moment, you got to make tough decisions, and you can't.
She would have been a great queen, I think.
Oh man, she would have been great.
She would have absolutely. But again, I think Viserys was a great king, so it's hard to those two were hard to decide between. But
good, you know.
But she would be able to make the tougher decisions that he couldn't. I will say that.
Oh, definitely.
Right. She would have been a great advisor for him.
Yeah,
oh,
for sure.
Yeah.
She should have been hand, no doubt.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But you know, sexism.
Oh, But see, and that's why these shows make me so mad, because it's like I know the time we're in and I know how it works, but just frick, she's right there. She's the best.
Yeah.
Like, just let her do it. Like, she's right there.
But another thing I want to bring up though to you guys though too is I like the fact that we're so involved in the political aspect of it that we don't focus in on the people outside of the kingdom either. And now they actually give us full focus of what's going on with this guy and his family and the Blackades and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then also too,
you
have the High Tower that winds up bringing in the dragon, and they're like, oh, I thought these beasts were supposed to be this godlike creatures.
Yeah.
And here they are dragging them in like they're nothing.
And the other guy says to him they're supposed to be. So they still think somewhat that they are, for sure.
And it also shows that there are people on Rhaenyra's side still, just as what they were saying before.
Which is what what's her name says. What is her name?
Aramis.
Yes.
Aramis.
Yeah, she says to her, like, there's more than one way to win a war. I can go to King's Landing and stir up some shit for you if you want. Rumors hit pretty hard when people aren't happy. So
I'm not sure they were on her side. They're really scared. Like, these idiots, what did you do? We're all doomed.
Yes.
Like, I think that was more fear, like, oh my God, what an idiot.
I agree.
And they're like, why aren't they excited? The king slayed them. And they're like, oh my God, what an idiot. We're all
dead. To show his ego, to stroke that ego. And that's all it was for.
We're all going to die. Let's get out of this city. That's right.
Which is a crazy move that Aemon pulls. And I love the line. My favorite line in this whole freaking episode is, cut those damn rat catchers down.
I was like, thank you.
I love him for that one. That's a great line.
But then
that was one thing that I can say I agreed on with him acting.
It's like, look, we're moving past that crap. Like, let's go.
I forgot they were still up there.
Yeah, too.
I forgot they still up there.
But can you imagine, like, you know how everybody always talks about how shitty a political person is and everything? It's like, so name one thing he did. He got the rat catchers down. That's all.
Rat catchers down.
That's it. You got it done.
And the dog was right there, like, oh, he's leaving.
I can have a burial for my friend now.
I guess I go to. I'm like, you can run away. You don't need
that dog was loyal to the very end. I need a dog like that.
You don't need him anymore. You can start over.
Yeah. No, I just love it because he was just like, all right, we're done with it. Like this, all the stupidity from the last few weeks, we're done with it.
Yes.
Like we're really only a couple months past Viserys dying.
Right.
We're only like a month or two past Viserys dying at this point. So all of this has happened within like a month or two. So it's crazy.
But here's my prediction though, too. Is, you know how Rhaenyra goes, well, I guess I'm just going to have to go on ahead and do this by myself since Daemon is not around. So I'm thinking this is actually where she gets captured. This is where she winds up, and a spoiler for people who haven't watched Game of Thrones, where Joffrey winds up spoiling everything that happens in House of the Dragon. Yeah. So I think this is actually where it happens. I think this is actually where we're going to see the end of Rhaenyra.
Wait, it ain't even season 3 yet, John.
It doesn't have to be when it comes down to Game of Thrones.
I'm telling you, John, I will come to this computer.
Dang, John, that could at least happen in season 3 or 4, right?
Well, I'm just saying, I just think episodes left in this season.
We have 3 episodes left. We have this one and then 2 more.
Okay.
That's it.
I don't think they're gonna kill all this soon, John.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Is this a prediction? I've been
wrong
before.
They do a freaking Jon Snow. I'm gonna.
If they do that, they better resurrect her. So
if that's the last moment of the last episode where they dies, and then we have to wait till the beginning of next season, I'm
gonna be so mad. I'm telling you.
I'm so glad I binged that show and didn't watch it when it came out. Oh, I would have been so mad. I would have been so mad.
Yeah, I was.
I watched that whole show.
I would have never watched again.
I was mad. I was on edge. I was like, what the fuck?
I would
I
have
think
never
Tamika
watched
and I
it
were
again. That
both
is
chatting
such a
back and
cheap
forth,
cliffhanger.
ranting.
That is such a cheap way to do a cliffhanger for a show and end of season on. Nah, I hate that. I would have been
I
so
was
mad.
like, oh, he's dead. Dang, I gotta wait till next Sunday.
I would have been so mad.
But
yeah,
so
no,
shifting allegiances, red drawn battle lines, and a few new appointments. It's also good as this. Okay, this is just my final thoughts. I thought it was a good episode for lighting, and the show more or less having defeated Game of Thrones' tendency to spend an entire hour in the dark. Look at the firelight in Rhaenyra's chambers as she takes Jack's report, or the scenes where Alicent briefly holds her injured son's hand. It's a very bad episode for Daemon, whose position looks more precious than ever, even as he shores up Harrenhal's walls as a side quest. Poor Castron Sir Simon Strong remains different, but he's incredibly applauded by Damien's unreliability.
Yeah.
So that's my final thoughts as far as how this episode is. But I just think that Daemon. I'm hoping that it's just about the witch and it's not the writing of the fact that they're underutilizing Daemon now. Because Daemon is such a great character, and he shouldn't be doing a side quest to build a castle.
They really are wasting him this season, in my opinion. I think, yeah.
Well, they had him good for like the last couple episodes, and all of a sudden we're gonna go over to Lair's castle.
Yeah.
And we're gonna help build this castle. I'm like thinking to myself, what's the purpose of this? Other than him just going back shit crazy.
I don't know. I kind of like his quest. It's like he's trying to face his sins and grow as a
I can see
person.
that.
But of course, he's still gonna be Daemon. But at least he can like face his sins. And I believe, like Nick said, the witch is doing this with, and I guess her power is growing stronger with Harrenhal too. So I kind of believe all that. Because she gave him that stuff to drink, and apparently he's still drinking it. And I don't know if he's trying to figure out, okay, I'm gonna keep drinking this so I can see what all she's showing me or what I need to face. I don't know why he's drinking it.
Oh, there's nothing that woman could give me, and I would drink it at this point.
Yeah.
If I was him, there's no way.
He's intrigued with this woman and this side quest. It
could literally be in a glass, a clean glass, and it could be a clear glass of water. And I'm like, nope, don't want it.
But don't forget, we're dealing with Daemon, who's actually into himself to the point it's like, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever this woman tells me to do.
Women are his weakness.
Yeah.
Right. So he's basically being a seductress and basically trying to show him his past. My question is this. I don't see him coming out of this thing either the same, where he's going to be changed for the good, or he's just going to be batshit crazy and just stay there in those walls while Rhaenyra goes on ahead and handles everything over there.
I think
he's trying to be a kingdom of a different castle.
I think he needs to get out of there. Yeah, he needs to get away from her.
Yeah.
Once he gets away from her, I think his mind will clear up.
Yeah, stop drinking that stuff.
Plus, they have said that place is haunted, so I'm sure that's messing with him too. I mean, it's got to be the combination of it. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Right. It's the combination of it being haunted and him seeing crazy stuff from her. That is just completely messing with him. He doesn't know what the hell to think. Because every time, if you notice, after these little episodes he has, there's moments where he just kind of wakes up somewhere, and then she's just standing there staring at him. And he's just like, what the hell just happened to me? Like,
right.
So I don't think he quite knows that he's doing it at this point. I think she's got him almost entranced.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Or also she could be doing like an Oprah thing where she's like making him face his past and the women in his life, because his wife keeps coming up and there's some guilt about her, and she's like, are you taking care of our daughters? And there's some guilt about being a father and all this other stuff he's discovering about himself. So it's all women that are popping up. Like, just it's like this witch wants him to face his issues with women in a messed up Oprah way with some drugs.
Well, is it her, or is that just, see, here's what I think almost is, because he actually does love Rhaenyra so much, and he knows he's messing up, that he's reflecting on all of his past people in his life, all the women in his life specifically, that he has to face that kind of before he can fully commit to Rhaenyra at this point. Because he knows what he's done in the past, and now maybe maybe it's a combination again of her and just his mind messing with himself.
Yeah. But he's also
because I do still feel like Daemon does love Rhaenyra. Like he will do anything for her. He just wants the power.
That's all he wants. That's all he's after.
Yeah.
So my question for you guys, what is this? So what's your final thoughts as far as this episode goes?
I mean, for me, I think this is I think it's a really good episode. I think it's a really great psychological thriller of an episode. Everything is just crazy in this episode. But yeah, I mean, they can give us friggin' Rambo last week with dragons, and then they give us 7.
Rambo with dragons.
And then they give us 7 the next week. So it's like, what's there really to complain about? I mean, no, but overall, I think it's a great way. Like I said, I think a lot of pieces are moving forward. I think the story itself is definitely moving forward. I mean, I don't feel like, again, even though this wasn't an action-packed episode, I still felt like things were moving, things were in motion. So, yeah, I think it's another great episode for them. You know, I don't know where I would rank it, but it's a pretty good episode.
I think it's a pretty good episode too, and also George is consulting on it as well. But I read that he may not be consulting on season 3, which is making me nervous because that's how Game of Thrones went down. It didn't have any George Martin on the set. They just kind of like, oh, we didn't make up something. So I'm kind of nervous about that. But I like this episode. It's not one of my favorites, but I am interested in Daemon's journey to self-discovery or whatever he's
even
doing.
If it kills him.
Yeah, even if I think Daemon's gonna die in battle. I don't think he's gonna go out like that.
I hope not. Otherwise, it'll be just lazy writing, in my opinion. But I have to say what Claude Jenkins just said, though. Daemon needs to leave before he dies, like the woman told him.
Yeah,
said you're going to die here.
I agree with that 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, his ego is keeping him there too, because he's like, I am going to take this castle. This is my castle, and I'm going to be king.
I mean, we have to get a Daemon and Aemon fight, right? I mean, we have to.
That's what I want. That's hands down what I want.
Either on dragons that lands and then they start fighting with swords. Like, I want
a dragon battle between the two of them where they both dragons die together and then they just go ham on each other.
Yep.
That's all I want.
Yeah. Maybe it'll happen.
I hope. I freaking hope so.
Me too. That's what I want. I want an epic battle between them two.
Yeah, totally.
I want
even if it is at Mario's castle where he's building in the castle.
Daemon the builder.
Look, I don't know what the hell he's thinking doing that. Like this castle is not worth this time. You're in the middle of a war. What are you building a castle for?
Yeah.
Lord Simon Strong is doing the best he can with what he's got.
Fair enough. That's a fair statement.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing over there being, like you said, Daemon the Builder. Because all it takes is one dragon to come through for 5 seconds, and you're back to square one. So you're in a war, dude. Don't worry about that damn. Screw that castle.
Oh, this is what Claude Jenkins says.
Yeah. Oh.
He says, "Do you think the Lord Corlys, in his love of sea battles, get Rhaenyra's killed? It seems as though she was ready to be with her daughter."
Wait a minute, but I don't know how he wasn't there.
Interesting.
I think it was more the fact that he lost his wife, too, and I think it's the fact that she was there for Rhaenyra. And about wanting just to take charge and help her more than anything.
Right.
You know, I think it was just that point of like, I need to do this. Nobody else can do it. So I might as well do it.
Yeah. I didn't get the sense that she was ready to be with her daughter. I just got the sense that she just felt like, not even felt like that. She just took it upon herself to say, I'm going to make the last stand here. Like, they're not getting to my queen kind of thing. They're not getting to my people. So
in order for you to get through the queen, you have to go through me.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Because
But
again,
yeah.
if she's not the hand, if she's not the, leader of the King's Guard, I don't know how you're not utilizing her. Like, I don't understand that, because she is such a huge weapon they have.
Mm-hmm.
She's been around for so long. She knows all these people, how they work, all the inner workings, all the dirty deeds of everybody. Like, she knows so much. It would be stupid not to use her. And I don't think they did. But again, now they can't. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't why she didn't immediately say, no, you're my hand. Like, I still think that was the biggest mistake she's made.
Right. I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll miss you.
So,
Miss you, Rhaenyra. We love you.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace. I loved her. I loved her character, hands down. Corlys and her were the two best characters of House of the Dragon, hands down. My favorite characters.
They're up there. Yeah, no doubt. They're up there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. Claude also says, meaning he was always blowing her off a bit. He left her for 7 years in the first season, and remember how he left her saying, "I have much to do." She was trying to get through to him again.
Oh, you mean like his neglect for her may have pushed her decision to just go into battle and say, fuck it.
Yeah. No, I mean, hey, that's possible for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I think all these. I think the one good thing about this show is all these characters are complicated. There's no simple just I'm this. Yeah. So I would agree with that for sure. It could be all of.
You know what? That actually makes sense now, because I binged the first season with my wife, and even though I was already watching season 2, but I do like the whole entire footprints of how they're doing everything and how it goes back over to season 1. And it does make sense now that Claude mentioned that, because I wasn't thinking that at the time. I was just thinking, okay, this is how I was thinking. Okay, forget about everything that is in season 1. I'm concentrating just on season 2, because that's what's in front of us. And now that he mentioned it, that actually makes sense now, because it was 7 years when he left her. And just basically let her do her own thing while he's gone.
Yeah.
And trying to find her own purpose of what she's supposed to be doing as well, and trying to find herself. So yeah, that does make sense now, Claude. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I think it does make sense.
Yeah, I think it was like you said, combination. Like, it could have been that too, but also I think she's just a soldier. She's like, thanks. Yeah. She's just a soldier, she's like, this has to be done, and I'm going to go and do it, and I'm going to go and fire and blood. But I hope I don't. I hope I come back. Like, she knew something had to be done. And if they could get this, if they could get Crispin and his men away from the council, that would have been a huge advantage to Team Black.
Yeah.
So she was just going into war, and she was like, we're going into war again. And they were saying that there hasn't been a war in a long time. So maybe she was fighting with Corlys in the sea battles, but
makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of feel more bad for her, because she really has been kind of just been stepped on her like most of her life. And she is literally one of the most strongest people in this show, because she doesn't break. She never broke once. She just moved forward. You step on me, fine. That's fine. That's cool. Like, you'll pay for that, but that's cool. But she never broke character, and not character in the that sense, but just she always played her part. She always was respectful. Like, she was a great character. That sucks.
Yeah.
I hate that she died.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Me too.
But
I didn't think about that though. He did leave her for 7 years, so that's gotta win. And again, he got kids. Like,
he did so much, and she was like, "Why don't you just stay home and then we just focus on the kids?" And he's like, "No, I gotta go to the sea. The sea is my love. I gotta fight."
Mm-hmm.
It is just like, okay, our son's dead. Okay, well, I still got to go back to the sea. It's like,
let's see here. We have another comment from Sonder Days X. Rhaenyra has been the most level-headed and objective focused on Rhaenyra's counsel. Definitely, I definitely agree with that.
yeah.
Then Claude says, I knew when she was riding over that castle that she would get caught. Just like, yep, me too. I knew it. As soon as she came back, like, yeah, that's it. It's game over.
Well, because they made a specific point not to show him. And every time they do that shot where somebody's just kind of, I wonder where they're at, you know what's about to happen.
Yeah,
So,
and they get me every time. They get me every time because I'm gullible. I'm like, I didn't see that.
Like, I'm waiting for it to happen, but at the same time, you're like, is it going to happen or is it not going to happen?
I didn't even think about it. I forgot about him. I was like, he must have gone somewhere.
He just went down to the supermarket while he was over during the war.
I guess he's just still, I thought he was still on the ground. I was like, okay.
He was like, my bad. I'm just going to leave you alone. Okay, you do your thing.
I was like her. I was like, okay, he's still on the ground unconscious.
Right. But hey, I just want to thank everybody that came out tonight and everything and just showed us some support, commenting in the comment section. I just want to thank JoJo, Claude, Sonder, Days, X. I do appreciate you guys so much for doing that. And thank you guys for becoming new subscribers. I do appreciate that so much. That was Lester's thought. Oop.
Pretty much.
She was fighting over that. But I just want to thank you guys. Dawn, do you have anything going on over at Multiverse of Geekdom that you want to tell everybody?
Always, yeah. Come check us out, guys. We got Geekdom Coliseum going on right now. Some D&D kind of stuff going on, but yeah, come check us out.
All right. And guys, I will be back tomorrow night, and I'm going to be doing my True Lies review with Vernon Kelly from It Is What It Is podcast. We're going to be doing this thing scene by scene. How I do this is it's simple. I talk about the nostalgia of seeing a film for the very first time. And then I do a nostalgia rating for that out of 10. Then after that, I strip away the nostalgia. And then we go based off of the stripping away the nostalgia and giving you a rating out of 10 for that. So that's how we're doing that. And then next week, I have Soda coming on, hopefully for American Pie. We're going to be reviewing that movie as well, scene by scene, and stripping away the nostalgia for that. So you guys can go in and check that out. Dawn will be back tomorrow night with me, hopefully, doing The Death of Slim Shady. We're going to be doing an album review for the intermission episode at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And so, yeah, guys, that's going to be it as far as this goes. Thank you so much, and we do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. If you have any more final thoughts, go ahead, comment below. We'll be glad to go on ahead and talk to you guys after the show as well. Yeah. So always until next time, guys.
Yeah, look out for dragons.
Yep, look out for them. You never know when they're going to pop up.
Whoa.
Later.